Most people believe wealth is built through constant action. They believe success belongs to the fastest thinker, the quickest mover, the one who reacts first. In a world that rewards speed, slowness looks like weakness. Waiting looks like hesitation. Stillness looks like falling behind. From childhood, we are rewarded for quick answers. In school, speed is praised. In business, responsiveness is admired. In markets, activity feels intelligent. The person doing nothing looks disengaged. The person moving fast looks sharp. But while everyone trades, he waits. While screens flash red and green, while headlines scream urgency, while millions of investors feel the pressure to do something, anything, Warren Buffett does something almost offensive in its simplicity. He does nothing. Not because he is confused, not because he is afraid, but because he understands something most people never learn. Movement is not the same as progress, and impatience is expensive. This is not a biography. It is not about admiration. It is about a strategy, one that feels uncomfortable in a culture addicted to speed. Patience is not passive. It is power under control. We live in a world that cannot sit still. If a stock drops, people sell. If it rises, they chase. If news breaks, they react before they understand it. Information moves at the speed of light, and so does panic. There is an invisible pressure to respond immediately, to have an opinion instantly, to take action before the opportunity disappears. But most opportunities do not disappear. They fluctuate. And fluctuation is not instruction. Buffett built his fortune inside this same world of noise, through recessions, through bubbles, through crashes that made intelligent people feel foolish. Yet his approach barely changed. He did not try to outpace the market. He tried to outlast it. That difference is everything. Watch how most people handle money. They track prices daily. They refresh apps hourly. They read headlines designed to trigger emotion. They feel intelligent because they are informed. They feel responsible because they are active. But activity is not intelligence. It is often anxiety. There is a quiet addiction to movement. When nothing is happening, people feel exposed. When markets are calm, they invent action. When opportunities are unclear, they force decisions. Because doing something feels safer than doing nothing. Silence creates doubt. Movement creates relief. Buffett built his fortune by resisting that relief. He does not act to relieve tension. He acts when the odds are overwhelmingly clear. He does not trade for stimulation. He allocates capital with precision. And most importantly, he is comfortable appearing inactive. That psychological comfort is rare, because most people would rather be wrong in action than uncertain in stillness. People misunderstand patience as slowness. Buffett is not slow. When he decides quickly. When conviction is present, he moves decisively. But that decision is often preceded by months, sometimes years, of observation. He studies businesses. He waits for pricing to align with value. He keeps cash ready. He does not deploy capital simply because it is available. Through Berkshire Hathaway, he has often held billions in cash while others rushed to invest. That cash was not fear. It was discipline. Most people reverse this process. They deploy first and think later. They chase price instead of value. They confuse opportunity with motion. Buffett waits for alignment, and alignment does not arrive every day. That is the point. If you swing at every pitch, you dilute your power. If you commit to every opportunity, you weaken your capital. If you chase every trend, you erode your edge. Selective aggression is stronger than constant activity, and selective aggression requires restraint. Patience sounds simple. It is not. Waiting forces you to sit with uncertainty. It forces you to watch others appear successful. It forces you to endure seasons where nothing dramatic happens. And in those seasons, doubt becomes loud. You question your strategy. You question your pace. You question whether you are being left behind. You watch someone else make quick gains. You hear stories of overnight success. You feel the quiet pressure of comparison. Most people cannot tolerate that internal noise, so they trade to silence it. They move to feel in control. They adjust to feel involved. Buffett tolerates it. He understands that markets fluctuate, cycles shift, and panic spreads quickly. He does not interpret noise as instruction. He does not interpret volatility as obligation. He waits, not because he lacks options, but because he values precision more than participation. That mindset separates investors from gamblers. Wealth is not built by information alone. It is built by identity. Buffett's identity is not that of a trader. It is that of an owner. He thinks in decades, not days. He buys businesses, not tickers. He evaluates fundamentals, not emotions. That identity protects him. If you see yourself as a short-term participant, your decisions will mirror that belief. If you see yourself as someone who must constantly act to stay relevant, your money will reflect that insecurity. But if you adopt the identity of a disciplined allocator, someone who only moves when the odds are clear, your behavior changes. You stop chasing. You start filtering. You stop reacting. You start positioning. Identity determines discipline. Discipline determines outcomes. Most people want better results without becoming someone calmer. That is why they remain stuck. There are moments when the highest return on investment comes from restraint, not selling in panic, not buying in euphoria, not adjusting simply because others are adjusting. Doing nothing protects capital. Protecting capital preserves optionality. Optionality creates leverage. This is not laziness. It is strategic stillness. In war, the general who moves every unit constantly exhausts his army. The one who waits, studies terrain, and chooses the right moment preserves strength. Markets are no different. Most losses are not dramatic collapses. They are the result of small emotional decisions made repeatedly. Buying slightly too high, selling slightly too early, adjusting slightly too often. Patience interrupts that cycle, and interruption is power. In modern culture, speed is admired. Hustle is praised. Urgency is celebrated. Patience is invisible. It does not generate applause. It does not look impressive in real time. It does not create exciting stories, but it compounds. While others burn energy reacting, the patient investor conserves strength. While others dilute focus, the disciplined allocator concentrates power. Over years, that difference becomes massive. Buffett did not outperform because he was the busiest man in the room. He outperformed because he refused to be rushed. The market transfers money from the impatient to the patient, quietly, consistently, without emotion. And most people volunteer to be on the losing side of that transfer, because waiting feels like losing. Most people do not lack opportunity, they lack restraint. They lack the emotional stability required to let a strategy breathe. They lack the confidence to remain still while others move. Patience exposes insecurity. It forces you to confront whether you truly believe in your preparation. It forces you to detach from comparison. It forces you to trust time. That is uncomfortable. Because we live in a world that worships speed and fears silence. But wealth is not built in comfort. It is built in disciplined silence. While everyone trades, he waits. While others chase headlines, he studies balance sheets. While others panic, he observes. And when the moment is right, when value and price align, he acts with conviction. Not often, not loudly, but effectively. Patience is not weakness. It is selective power. In a world addicted to speed, the individual who can wait without losing composure holds an advantage most people will never develop. Wealth is rarely built in dramatic moments. It is built in the quiet space between impulses,